And another one, and another one. What is up, y'all? And welcome back to Thoughtful Tuesday here in Leia's Corner. And on this Tuesday, I want to direct this specifically to those who are dreamers, who have a dream, who have a vision, and are in the process of executing on that thing. Hear me when I say this. They're in the process of executing on that vision or that dream. And I've come to realize that for someone like me who is in the process of executing on my dreams and my visions, I've realized that we think dreams can only be met with our own actions and our own plans. But there are times when we become discouraged by the size of that dream or even the time it takes to get that dream accomplished. And then we're often constantly reminded of that nagging question, but what if? This mindset can have us questioning our own abilities or even overanalyzing certain decisions that have already been made. And then sometimes we don't even make a decision because we're afraid of the unknown. But how can we say we have faith and yet we fear the unknown? Isn't faith the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen? I'm giving you this little spiel because it's something I have to always remind myself of. I used to vent to my grandma all the time about accomplishing my dreams and the goals and all of these ideas I had. And she would always end the conversation with, baby, just trust God. And for me, I always wanted more. And I feel like I've told this story several times, but I'm okay with reiterating it because I want to give you some more meat to why I constantly bring up my grandma and her telling me to, baby, just trust God. And she would never get tired of me venting to her about my dreams or about my goals or even the frustration I would have in the middle of the process. And if she did, at least she never really complained to me about me venting. Shout out to my grandma. But what I loved the most was that in the midst of our conversations, in every conversation, she would always give me the same two passages of scriptures. And it was Psalms 23 and Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And it got to a point where I already knew that was coming, so I would just recite it. But she would instruct me to go and read it out of the Bible, like read it from my phone or from a physical Bible. But for me, I didn't really quite understand what the text was saying. And she didn't give me these instructions as just some religious method to wipe away all of the fears and doubts that I had with going after my dreams. But she was instructed to plant these seeds of faith so that other teachers would come and water those seeds of faith within me. But one of the scriptures that she constantly reiterated in every conversation is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And it says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all of your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. The truth is, I had no problem acknowledging God because for me specifically, I wanted to please him. I wanted all of the works that I did to please God and not man. But if I'm honest, I struggle with trusting him because sometimes I would have one foot in the pool of trusting God and one foot in the pool of my own understanding. Because the truth is, though I love God and though I trust him, as a human, sometimes we think we can do a better job at ordering our steps. Sometimes we think we can do a better job at making decisions for our vision and our dreams. As humans, we like things a certain way in a specific order. Shout out to my control freak. I'm a work in progress. Keep your judgment to yourself. But we think we can do a better job at controlling our lives. And as believers and dreamers, we're even instructed to write the vision and make it plain. But yet we still have to obey the will of God. And it's in that moment of writing the vision and making it plain that we often draft up a plan to execute the vision. And as we go in the process of executing this vision, sometimes God has a way of calling an audible in the middle of that execution. And it doesn't mean that the vision or the dream was wrong or outside of the will of God or it's unobtainable or it was too big or some fantasy world. Sometimes we don't always know why God calls an audible. And in that moment is usually when he asks us to trust him the most. It is in that moment where every ounce of belief in our heart, even the broken pieces, even some of the wounded pieces, even the fully healed pieces, must trust solely on him. But usually when he calls that audible, we have a way of depending completely on our own understanding. Like, okay, guys, this must ain't what you want me to do. That was some bad grammar, but y'all understand hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. That was some bad grammar. But in that moment of him changing and calling an audible, we don't often see like he's protecting us. He's protecting us from a certain line of defense that we don't always see. He's protecting us from obstacles that could trip us up. And not all the time can we recover, depending on the situation. But you have to trust him with your whole heart. Trust him with the vision. Trust him with the execution of the vision. God has a way of changing methods and strategies. It don't always make sense. And that's that. In that moment of it not making sense is really where you have to trust him the most and lean not to your own understanding. I know we're human, but I really want you to understand from somebody who did struggle with trusting God, who felt like, God, I know you're bigger than everything, but I feel like this 1 + 1 is the route that I'm supposed to go. And you're telling me to do one thing, but I'm trying to figure out what outcome is supposed to come from this one thing. And that is when he's saying, trust me, trust my method, trust my strategy, trust the administration of your purpose. Go ahead and get up off your own understanding. I'll see you through. I always do. I hope this is a confirmation for some people who are in the middle of executing a dream or in the middle of walking out their purpose and you're looking for some type of outcome or you're looking for a big moment. Just trust him. He's still with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. But in the middle of trusting him, lean not to your own understanding. I love you and happy Tuesday.